If I had my life to live over again, I would have made a rule to read some poetry and listen to some music at least once every week. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized that they were inside us. The love for all living creatures is the most noble attribute of man. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change. The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble by us, and I for one must be content to remain an agnostic. The highest possible stage in moral culture is when we recognize that we ought to control our thoughts. Intelligence is based on how efficient a species became at doing the things they need to survive. Besides love and sympathy, animals exhibit other qualities connected with the social instincts which in us would be called moral. But I am very poorly today and very stupid, and I hate everybody and everything. One lives only to make blunders. Great is the power of steady misrepresentation. There is no fundamental difference between man and animals in their ability to feel pleasure and pain, happiness and misery. Freedom of thought is best promoted by the gradual illumination of men's minds, which follows from the advance of science. To kill an error is as good a service as, and sometimes even better than, the establishing of a new truth or facts. It is always advisable to perceive clearly our ignorance. We are not here concerned with hopes or fears, only with truth as far as our reason permits us to discover. We are always slow in admitting any great change of which we do not see the intermediate steps. We will now discuss in a little more detail the struggle for existence. A scientific man ought to have no wishes, no affections, a mere heart of stone. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. A fair result can be obtained only by fully stating and balancing the facts and arguments on both sides of each question. I am convinced that natural selection has been the main, but not exclusive means of modification. I hope that I may be excused for entering on these personal details, as I give them to show that I have not been hasty in coming to a decision. And thus, the forms of life throughout the universe become divided into groups, subordinate to groups. Sexual selection will also be largely dominated by natural selection, tending towards the general welfare of the species. If any man wants to gain a good opinion of his fellow men, he ought to do what I am doing, pester them with letters. This preservation of favorable variations and the rejection of injurious variations I call natural selection. Animals whom we have made our slaves, we do not like to consider our equal. A man's friendship are one of the best measures of his worth. My mind seems to have become a kind of machine for grinding general laws out of large collections of facts. A moral being is one who is capable of reflecting on his past actions and their motives, of approving of some and disapproving of others. On the ordinary view of each species, having been independently created, we gain no scientific explanation. An American monkey, after getting drunk on brandy, would never touch it again, and thus this is much wiser than most men. I am turned into a sort of machine for observing facts and grinding out conclusions. If the misery of the poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. Thanks for watching. Which quotes did you like the most? Please let us know down in comments, and don't forget to subscribe our channel.